Welcome, Seema.
Hi, thank you. Thanks.
Great. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Healing Circle Talks. Before we begin the circle, I would like to read the guidelines. Healing circles are built on a foundation of kindness and respect. We all participants agreed to listen to each other with compassion and curiosity. We honor each other's unique ways of healing and don't presume to advise or fix or try to save each other. We hold all the stories shared in the circle within us, and we trust each one of us has guidance we need within us, and we rely on the power of silence to access it. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining. And today's circle is very, very special because we have an esteemed speaker, Seema Patil, with us. And also, this month is, as we know, that we are doing this World Cancer Day 1 lakh Lives Impact campaign, where ZenOnco and Levels Cancer is providing free onco nutrition consultation program to 1 lakh cancer patients and survivors. So this makes it even more special. And thank you so much, Seema, for joining us. She is a breast cancer thriver, one of India's top businesswomen, an esteemed business partner and director at Zerodha, an amazing life partner to Nithin Kamath. Despite her health-conscious life, cancer became a part of her story. And when she found a lump in her breast during a routine checkup, even after undergoing treatment like surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation, she kept up her healthy habits, like getting back to exercise just a week after her surgery. Through it all, Seema emerged with a stronger spirit and a mission to inspire others facing similar battles. Despite losing her hair, a tough part of her journey, she and her husband Nithin chose to go bald, breaking cancer taboos and showing courage every step of the way. Seema's journey is a powerful reminder of staying vigilant with health screenings and the strength to overcome obstacles. Seema will be sharing insights on her inspiring journey, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, the critical role of regular screening, embracing a holistic approach, and much more. Welcome, Seema. Welcome to Healing Circle Talks. And we all, you have been an inspiration to millions of cancer patients and thrivers. And we are very glad that you are here with us today, sharing your experience and insights from your journey. We all know that you have been following a very healthy lifestyle since beginning, and one of the fittest person I know. But still, this happened. So I'm sure this came as a shock for you as well. So would like to hear from you about your journey, how it started, and also the message that you would like to share with everybody, not just about the screening, but also the lessons that you learned in this journey. Uh, as somebody who is going through it, I have been a cancer caregiver, so I'll share some insights from the caregiver perspective. So please go ahead. Thank you.
Firstly, thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm really honored to be part of the circle. So as most of you all know that I discovered the lump during my regular routine health checks, which I used to do every year, like once a year, we used to do. And it was a shock because, I thought till that moment that I had done everything right in my life, right? Like I never smoked. I was a healthy eater. I used to exercise regularly, and when I heard that I had cancer, I was like, okay, I couldn't believe it. But then I guess, reality just hit and we were like, okay, let's see what we can do from here. Luckily for me, my PET scan showed that, like the cancer was localized to breast and it hadn't spread anywhere else. And then we just started this journey of trying to figure out the doctors. It was so overwhelming to, to find the right person because everyone had an opinion, someone that they knew was the best. But just to filter, try to figure out. And along the way, also, we realized it was just so expensive. And I just couldn't imagine, normal people, middle class people, people especially without insurance, how they even deal with this. So we were lucky, financially. Also, we had my brother-in-law, Nikhil, he had a good circle of people that he knew in the medical stream. So we were lucky to shortlist wonderful, doctors. who kind of helped me through all my journey. So when we started, they had told me that, you know, I might absolutely not need chemotherapy. So even during the later stage, when I realized, oh my God, like, because my recurrence level was a little higher, you know, one of the tests that they did, the recurrence level was higher, and I was like, okay, so I'm going to lose my hair, you know. And believe me, like, I mean, sometimes we all, you know, surprise ourselves, right? Like, we keep wondering that, you know, at some point we'll break down. But I mean, I think I surprise myself by, you know, also the support, right? Like, of family, friends, right? Everything helps a lot, especially if people understand you and they are trying to cheer you up, you know, they are trying to make sure that, you know, this is not the end, right? Like, so everyone around me was very positive and, you know, very supportive. So all that kind of helped me, you know, to go through this. I thought I was one of those person who would never, like, we had these multiple wigs. I had bought caps, I had bought scarves. Just mentally I was preparing myself that, okay, you know what, I might just fall apart if I see myself bald. But going bald, I mean, it didn't change much, you know, like, and people around me made me feel so comfortable. My brother went bald, my sister-in-law went bald, and it was just like, oh, okay, you know, like, we all are in this together. So that's what, you know, kept me going through the journey. And yeah, like, I mean, physically, you know, chemo radiation kind of took a toll, but I guess mentally what helped me was just getting back, you know, with the workouts.
Wow.
And I didn't realize that, you know, like, I didn't realize mentally. I was just working out because I knew, you know, at some level it was making me feel good about myself. But till, I mean, I had to undergo therapy as well. Even with, you know, wonderful support of my family and friends, I still underwent therapy. And that therapist actually made me understand that, because, you know, I kind of see, I, even till now, I haven't really cried about it. Like, and somehow I kept thinking, is something wrong with me? Like, I should be crying, or I should feel a little, you know, I should feel sad, right? But then the therapist made me understand that there is nothing wrong with you. You actually getting back to workout was your crying. That's what was giving you mental strength. That's how you were dealing, you know. Some people cry, you know, some people do different things to mentally kind of, you know, understand yourself. So yeah, the workouts kind of was my mental, you know, it kind of mentally strengthened me. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing, सीमा, and you are absolutely right. मैं एक रिक्वेस्ट आई है हिंदी में बात करने की, so हम ट्राई करेंगे कि हम सेशन को जितना हो सकता है हिंदी में रखें या फिर मिक्स कर सकते हैं हिंदी इंग्लिश. एंड आपने बहुत सही बोला कि हमें हमेशा एक हेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल या हेल्दी प्रैक्टिस या कुछ चाहिए जो हमें स्ट्रेंथ दे, जो हमें मोटिवेशन दे, जो हमें वापस अच्छा फील कराए कि नहीं, इट्स अ फेस और ये फेस बहुत जल्दी चला जाएगा और मुझे इस फेस के दौरान हिम्मत रखनी है और बस इस कुछ महीने की बात है और ये निकल जाएगा. और वो एंड आई एम यू हैव सेड वेरी राइट. वर्कआउट से जो गुड फीलिंग होती है, जो स्ट्रेंथ मिलती है, इट्स नॉट जस्ट physically you feel good, but emotionally, mentally, it gives you a lot of strength. And I personally have, you know, experienced this. No matter how much stressful or tough the situation is, but just a half an hour or 1 hour of exercise, and all of a sudden your mood changes, that okay, you are in very good mood. So I think that's a very very important thing that you have shared. And मैं इनफैक्ट सबसे ये चीज़ शेयर करना चाहूँगी, अगर आप भी इस ट्रीटमेंट से निकल रहे हैं, चाहे आपको कोई भी एक्टिविटी है जो आप कर सकते हैं, वॉकिंग हो गया, पार्क में जाना हो गया, योगा हो गया, स्ट्रेचिंग हो गया, कुछ भी फिजिकल एक्टिविटी, वो जो आपके बॉडी में हार्मोन्स रिलीज करती है, वो ट्रीटमेंट्स के साथ में अच्छी क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ, एक मेंटल स्ट्रेंथ के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होती है. थैंक यू सीमा फॉर शेयरिंग दिस. एंड माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, आपने डिसीजन मेकिंग प्रोसेस जो होता है कि जब आपको पता चला कि डायग्नोसिस है, एंड कई बार जैसे आपने बताया कि आपके लिए भी शॉक की तरह आया था, एंड हम लोग कभी डिसाइड नहीं कर पाते हैं कि क्या ये डायग्नोसिस रियल है या फिर कौन से डॉक्टर से मिलना है, या फिर क्या मेरा कीमोथेरेपी होगा नहीं होगा, क्या मुझे कोई और टेस्ट करवाने चाहिए. और ब्रेस्ट कैंसर के लिए तो काफ़ी सारे टेस्ट हैं जिससे हम ये भी पता लगा सकते हैं कि मुझे कीमोथेरेपी की ज़रूरत होगी भी या नहीं होगी। सो कैन यू प्लीज़ शेयर अबाउट आपका ट्रीटमेंट जर्नी, क्या-क्या आपने टेस्ट करवाए थे एंड कैसे आपने डिसाइड किया कि मुझे फाइनली ये शुरू करना है एंड आपने कितना टाइम लिया वो शुरू करने के लिए?
सॉरी, मेरी हिंदी उतनी अच्छी नहीं है। I'll try.
इट्स ओके, मैं ट्रांसलेट कर लूँगी बीच-बीच में।
तो हेल्थ चेकअप के बाद जब उन्होंने बोला कि ठीक है, वहाँ वहाँ पे लम्प की तरह है, पर मे बी नॉट, इट माइट बी नॉट एनीथिंग, इट माइट जस्ट, बट दे सेड कि चलो इग्नोर मत कीजिए, गेट इट चेक्ड. तो आई वाज लाइक ओके. So I went to a small, one of my friend knows this small clinic. One of the doctor runs it, lady doctor. So as soon as she saw, so I said I have come for a consultation. तो as soon as उन्होंने देखा, उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, बायोप्सी करनी पड़ेगी. तो मैंने, आई वाज लाइक अ लिटिल टेकन अबैक, लाइक ओ ओके. तो उन्होंने कहा कि सी वी कैन डू द, आई मीन, सो आई आस्क्ड ओके व्हेन कैन वी डू बायोप्सी. आई एम वन ऑफ दोज पीपल की अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो इमीडिएटली सॉल्व कर, क्या करेंगे, क्या कर सकते हैं इमीडिएटली, हाउ डू यू सॉल्व दिस. So I asked her, okay, fine, do the biopsy. She's like, yeah, I can do it right now. I can take the sample and it'll. So immediately she took the sample. उसके बाद बायोप्सी का रिपोर्ट जो है 2-3 दिन के बाद आ गया. तो उन्होंने कहा ओके, दिस द फर्स्ट स्टेप. तो इवन व्हेन आई वेंट अलोन, लाइक मैंने, आई वाज इन सच अ डिनायल ना कि अच्छा यार मुझे नहीं हो सकता, लाइक मुझे कैसे हो सकता है ये कैंसर वगैरह. तो उन्होंने जब बुलाया तो मैं अकेली गई थी और उन्होंने बोला आप फिर से अकेली आ गई. मैं लाइक हाँ. तो उन्होंने कहा ओके ठीक है, देखिए ये कैंसर है. सो आई वाज लाइक ओ ओके. तो देन शी सेड ओके फाइन. तो मैंने कहा ठीक है, अब बताइए मुझे क्या क्या करना है. तो उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, फर्स्ट स्टेप इज पेट स्कैन. हमें देखना है कि ये लोकलाइज्ड है या बॉडी में कहीं और जगह स्प्रेड हुआ है. शी वाज लाइक सी, आई एम नॉट ट्राइंग टू स्केयर यू बट दैट्स अ रियलिटी. तो मैंने कहा ठीक है, कब कर सकते हैं. उन्होंने बोला कल कर सकते हैं सुबह. तो वहां से द वेरी नेक्स्ट डे पेट स्कैन के लिए गए हम. पेट स्कैन, about 2 hours, after 2 hours they did the PET scan, and then I think the report came after 3-4 days. So the report was good because she was like, it's localized to breast.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, okay, you know what, that's a relief. After that, so we would have done, I was ready to do my mastectomy, everything in that small clinic, because that doctor was really good. But the problem was when it's a small clinic, she had to outsource for everything. You had to go out. And oncology is like a, integrated kind of a thing where there is radiologist, plastic surgeon, everyone is involved in this, chemotherapist. So that's one of the reasons we had to look for a bigger hospital, a hospital which had all this in one place, where we didn't have to go from one place to another. So it just took, I was diagnosed in end of November 2021. By 15th December 2021, I knew we had already met the doctor, and he said we can do your surgery like as fast as in 2-3 days. So around December 25th or 25th, they did my mastectomy. So the treatment process was very fast. Surgery was very fast. Unfortunately, so when they do your surgery, mastectomy, they remove few lymph nodes just to make sure that, the cancer hasn't moved there. Unfortunately for me, they found in 2 of the nodules, they found the cancer cells. So the doctor said, we might have to do chemotherapy because once the cancer cell reaches the nodules in your, the lymph nodules, next it's bloodstream and then it can go to any part of your body. So one of the reasons, then even after that diagnosis, they still said, okay, let's do further testing just to make sure that, chemo is absolutely necessary. So my recurrence level also was a little high. तो उन्होंने कहा कि ठीक है, chemotherapy at least minimum 4 cycle करने ही पड़ेंगे. और उसके बाद 20 sessions of radiation, and then yeah, I should be fine.
Okay.
So all this was done, I was diagnosed in November, end of November. और 6 महीने के बाद I was done with everything.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's very brave of you कि आपने आप अकेले डॉक्टर के पास गए, आपने जब डॉक्टर ने आपको बताया इट्स कैंसर एंड दैट टाइम आल्सो यू वर लाइक ओके व्हाट्स द नेक्स्ट प्लान? सो टेकिंग अ वेरी प्रैक्टिकल अप्रोच दैट ओके यस बट अभी आगे क्या करना है? सो रादर देन आई एम श्योर इट फील्स एट टाइम्स सैड और इट एट टाइम्स वी फील लाइक why me or we cry about it, which is quite natural. There's a process that we all go through, but at the same time and it's okay to take time to go through that shock of the initial diagnosis. It's completely fine. But at the same time after that, okay, now what roll up the sleeves and then अब मुझे क्या करना है, कैसे ठीक होना है, क्या steps लेने हैं, पूरा plan बनाना, road map बनाना. So, and that's very brave of you, the incredible strength that you have shown during your treatment
Okay.
journey. And yeah,
As I said, like I went alone thinking because I was like, no, I can't have cancer. Even my husband was like, no.
yeah,
But as soon as I said, yes, it is cancer, my husband and my brother-in-law, they just took over everything because even they couldn't believe what, like you. So I said, yeah, it's okay. We'll deal with this. So they just took over everything after that.
yeah.
So they didn't let me go alone anywhere after
Course,
that.
yeah. I think family support बहुत ज़्यादा important होता है इसमें and you have a loving family who was there even when you explained that सब लोग ने they removed their hair and that really gives you that it's normal, it's completely fine and knowing that you have somebody family who is taking the first step, who is doing everything for you. I remember जब नितेश का डायग्नोसिस हुआ था तो थर्ड स्टेज में ही वाज काइंड ऑफ ड्राइविंग एवरीथिंग एंड जब उनका स्टेज 4 हो गया था तुरंत ही स्टेज 3 के साथ में तो आई सॉ हिम कि थोड़ा सा हेल्पलेस और बहुत ज़्यादा शॉकिंग था जब डॉक्टर ने बोला कि ही हैज़ ओनली 6 months टू लिव and that time we were also out of college and I was taking care of everything for him and I remember जब हम लोग फोर्थ स्टेज का पेट स्कैन करवा के घर आए और नितेश ने बोला कि पहली बार मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि कोई है जो मेरा ध्यान रख सकता है और मुझे बस पीछे पीछे चलना है। पहली बार कोई हॉस्पिटल में मेरे से आगे चल रहा था, मुझे बता रहा था यहाँ जाना है, ये करना है। आई थिंक वो जो सपोर्ट होता है, जो मेंटल स्ट्रेंथ होती है, जो साथ होता है, कंपेनियनशिप होती है, उससे यू फील सो रिलैक्स्ड एंड यू आर लाइक I have my people with me and nothing will happen to me. So family support बहुत important होता है ना। We are blessed to have such a wonderful family. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Seema, for sharing that. And Seema, we all have our lows when we get diagnosed with such a critical illness, right? तो I'm sure कि आपके भी वो लोज टाइम होंगे जहाँ पे आपको शायद एंड कई बार कीमोथेरेपी के साइड इफेक्ट्स होते हैं जो ट्रिगर करते हैं जिसकी वजह से हमें लगता है कि कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है सो डिड यू ऑल्सो गो थ्रू दोज टाइम्स एंड हाउ डिड यू ओवरकम ड्यूरिंग दोज टफ फेजेस
So I think my low was when, yeah, after my first chemo. I mean, मुझे पता था, बोला था कि ओके चलो कॉन्स्टिपेशन होगा, बॉडी पेन होगा, फीवर, वो सब बताया था, पर जब डॉक्टर बताते हैं एंड देन व्हेन यू एक्सपीरियंस ना, इट्स टोटली डिफरेंट, राइट? मुझे कुछ पता ही नहीं हो रहा था कि क्या हो रहा है मेरे बॉडी के साथ। लाइक आई वाज इन पेन, आई वाज फीलिंग लाइक थ्रोइंग अप, आई मेरे टेस्ट पूरा मुझे कुछ टेस्ट ही नहीं हो रहा था, लाइक कुछ भी खाना, नो टेस्ट एट ऑल। एंड आई एम लाइक व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, एंड आई कुडंट गेट अप from the bed, like I just couldn't get up, I was struggling. And I think that was one moment where I thought, oh my god, like, I mean, why am I doing this to myself? Because felt like, chemo was like, if I would have said no, mujhe chemo nahi chahiye, I would have been fine, because it was really bad. But then after, I think through that, I think kind of my son helped me a little, because he used to come, he used to ask me like, how are you okay, do you need anything? And what, he was only 7 years old. Yeah, so then you are like, okay, you see that face and you feel a little better. My husband was around, always checking on me. People who are working for me also, they were all around, checking up on me. So that kind of really helped us, support from people. And then after 2 days, it was like after 3 4 days, it was like as if I'm okay now. Like, slowly the body starts getting better. Like the pain goes away. Taste comes only after a couple of months. But, then I was like, oh, okay. So, this is good. And during that time, one of the doctor also said, no matter how bad you are feeling that you can't get up from the bed, just try to walk. Just walk.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I was so surprised because I just walked in the garden for just maybe for 10 minutes, but just that fresh air and movement, it just helped me so much that from the next chemo cycle, I actively started doing that.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me personally, it helped a lot. Just walking and, breathing in clean, fresh air.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's very insightful information that you have shared, and I'm sure कि हमारे साथ में अभी सर्कल में जितने भी मेंबर्स हैं, अगर आपका ट्रीटमेंट चल रहा है, इनफैक्ट ट्रीटमेंट नहीं भी चल रहा है, फिर भी ये सब हेल्दी प्रैक्टिसेस होती है, छोटी-छोटी चीज़ें, छोटी-छोटी हैबिट्स जो बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्प करती है रिकवरी में और एक हेल्दी फिट लाइफस्टाइल के लिए। जैसे किसी मैंने बताया कि ब्रीदिंग एक्सरसाइज, 10 मिनट के लिए वॉक करना, जितना भी हम कर सकते हैं, बिल्कुल बेड रेस्ट से अच्छा है कि जाके फ्रेश एयर लें, थोड़ा-सा बाहर बैठें। इनफैक्ट कई बार मैं अपने पेशेंट्स को बोलती हूँ जो कि फॉर से ब्रेन कैंसर में ऐसा होता है कि वो बेड रिडन होते हैं, तो उनके हाथ में भी नहीं है, वो चाहे फिर भी नहीं आ सकते। स्टिल फैमिली मेंबर्स को हम एनकरेज करते हैं कि उनको व्हीलचेयर पे बिठा के बाहर लेके आएँ, क्योंकि वो जो एनवायरनमेंट होता है, वो जो वाइब होती है, वो फ्रेश एयर, ग्रीनरी, नेचर, वो हीलिंग में बहुत हेल्प करती है। So, thank you, Seema, for sharing that it helped you and healed you as well. And I always tell patients कि try to avoid bed rest as much as possible. And caregivers हमेशा काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रोटेक्टिव और वो होते हैं कि नहीं आप जितना रेस्ट करो उतना अच्छा है. But actually में that may not always be helpful. Yeah, right. Okay, so Seema, when you were going through the journey and you have a wonderful husband, family, you said kids as well who gave you a lot of support. क्या चीज थी जो आपको कॉन्स्टेंटली मोटिवेट करती थी कि नहीं मुझे करना है, मुझे ठीक होना है? व्हाट वाज योर सेल्फ मोटिवेशन और कांस्टेंट सोर्स ऑफ इंस्पिरेशन मोटिवेशन इन दिस जर्नी?
The motivation is one thing that, you want to live for your son, for your kids. But also, the motivation was like, I have done everything right in life, but okay, unfortunately, I'm dealing with this. But I'm like, you know what? I want to overcome this and again get back into my healthy routine. That was, yeah, kind of
Yeah, okay.
pushed me.
And Seema, जैसे when we talk about routine checkup and screenings, and in India, I've seen that even healthcare staff, healthcare professionals are not much aware or even they don't go for the regular screening. एक है कि उतना नहीं करवाते हैं रेगुलरली जितना करवाना चाहिए। सो आपने ये कब से हैबिट शुरू किया कि नहीं मुझे रेगुलर स्क्रीनिंग करवानी है? एंड क्या आपकी फैमिली में कैंसर का हिस्ट्री है या फिर व्हाट मैसेज यू वुड वांट टू, बिकॉज़ अर्ली डिटेक्शन कैन ट्रूली सेव लाइव्स, लाइक we know in many cases where it was diagnosed in first or second stage, which is 95% plus curable. So
Yes,
I
my
was
first stage too.
yeah, right. So आप क्या बोलना चाहेंगे इसके ऊपर, where one is बहुत कम लोग होते हैं जो कि रेगुलर स्क्रीनिंग करवाते हैं, तो आपने कैसे वो शुरू किया? एंड क्या कोई फैमिली हिस्ट्री है और आप क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे सबको स्क्रीनिंग के लिए स्पेशली?
Um, so jab health checkup, because we got into this fitness routine and, we realized that as you age, no matter how healthy your diet is, no matter how much you're working out, there are still certain deficiencies that you can face in your body, like because of your age, because we are getting older. So that one of the reason, started with proper health checks, like once every year. The surprising thing is मुझे ना मैमोग्राम मैंने कभी नहीं किया था।
ओह,
हाँ, और मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि मैमोग्राम एग्जैक्टली क्या है। मुझे क्या लगा कि मैमोग्राम इज लाइक अ चेस्ट एक्सरे
या,
एंड आई थॉट ओके चलो मैंने किया है वो पहले। दिस वाज माय फर्स्ट मैमोग्राम, लाइक प्रॉपर मैमोग्राम। देन आई वाज लाइक ओह मैंने ये कभी नहीं किया, जस्ट एक्सरे किया था। एंड I was just lucky, like, because first mammo, and they figured out, okay, there is something, and further, maybe you should show it, to the doctor. But it was, I mean, health check is because of the, because we are getting older, and no matter what we do, body still doesn't process the way we were during our younger days. Now, as I said, I was lucky because during the mammogram, a lot of people don't realize what mammogram is, and I would suggest every woman should once a year, especially after 35. I think everyone, as a precautionary measure, everyone should get a mammogram done, once a year. That's more than enough. And for me, right, like, I was just lucky because I don't have any family history. Family history nahi hai breast cancer ki. No, none of the other forms of cancer. No family history at all. क्योंकि as soon as I came to know कि चलो मुझे breast cancer है, when they were doing my tests, I said, okay, I want to do the BRCA test because I was worried about my sister, I was worried about my mom, even though we have not seen any any history, family history of cancer. So BRCA was negative, so it's not in my genes. It was just one of, I mean, I got it, and I was just lucky because of my regular health screenings, they detected it.
Okay, well, very, very important information you have shared. In fact, I went for mammogram a year ago, and doctor said, no, we won't be able to do because you are not 35 yet. So 35, I think there's the age होता है उसमें 35 का उसके ऊपर ही mammogram होता है. And एक सबको करवाना चाहिए साल में एक बार because breast cancer is the most common form of cancer in women in India, and early stage can definitely save lives from cancer. There's a question, Seema. What type of breast cancer you were diagnosed with? So basically, ER/PR HER2 status, if you can share that.
Yeah. So my ERPR was positive, HER2 negative.
Okay, understood. And you also shared that आपका recurrence probability था. So आपको कौन से टेस्ट में पता चला कि recurrence के chances हो सकते हैं?
So there was this test they did from Myriad Lab. It's called EndoPredict. वहाँ पे ना उसमें genes, they do the BRCA also. If you want, you can add, but EndoPredict will tell what are the chances of recurrence.
Mm-hmm.
Mine were little on the higher side.
Understood.
Where, yeah, that was like a decision maker for me to start chemo.
Chemotherapy.
Yeah, chemotherapy, yes.
Right. And Seema, you've always followed very active, healthy lifestyle. चाहे वो food habits हो, चाहे वो exercise हो, mindfulness हो. So when this happened, did you ever question yourself कि इतना कुछ healthy lifestyle होने के बाद में regular gym जाते हैं आप morning में, उसके बाद में how can this happen? Or did you ask doctors or anything on that?
Uh, so my first reaction was yes. Like, I was like, acha, itna sara, I mean, I'm doing everything right, but
Yeah.
I got this and I don't know why. But also, later on after my mastectomy, I realized because I was so healthy and active, within a week, I was all right to get back on the treadmill. So my recovery was very fast. Even my doctor was like, your recovery is really good. Especially my age also, I'm not like a young person. So they were like, for your age, the recovery is really good. So that's one thing that helped. Also, diet wise, I mean, I was very clean, but then I realized, like, over time, I mean, there are so many carcinogens that we are taking, even in healthy foods.
Mm-hmm.
Even the air we breathe, they say, is not, it contains carcinogens. So I realized, I mean, you can try as much as you can to be healthy, to eat organic, but I guess some amount of these things just, get into your body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from the air, yeah, from water, even from milk.
Yeah.
So we have kind of, I mean, shifted a lot, into organic food as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but 100%, I mean, you can't really. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we have just, yeah, changed a lot of our habits.
Okay, and now after the treatment, what all lifestyle changes you have done, which is helping you, and also how to ensure that we prevent chance of recurrence as much as possible. So, any changes in the lifestyle that you have done, which will help other members also in the group?
So nothing major changes, but as I said, we have tried to shift as much as possible to organic food.
Organic.
Organic
Yeah.
vegetables, most of the organic, yeah, whatever you can, like however you can, and then बाहर खाना थोड़ा कम हो गया है. We just eat in the house as much as possible. Then even like things like cosmetics, right? you know,
Mhm.
Instead of using some moisturizer, like we have shifted to oils like coconut oil, or, like that kind of thing, like small changes in this thing.
Right.
And of course, started with yoga. I started with meditation. Meditation I used to not do before,
Yeah.
but that just few minutes of keeping quiet is kind of helping. And yeah, irregular exercise routine. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Right. Thank you. No, definitely it helps. We always talk about seven healing practices, which is eating well, moving more, managing stress, creating healing environment, sharing love and support with your friends, family, community members, and finding purpose of life. So when we talk about the last pillar of wellness, which is finding purpose of this life, uh, yeah. So what would you like to share on that?
That's a very I'm still trying to find my purpose, right? One thing I'm lucky, I would say, that I have this option that I can sit back and I don't have to think in terms of earning, but I'm thinking in terms of what difference can I make. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. Hopefully, something will come along the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now, yeah.
Thank you.
Until
Yeah. Right. There's a question from Salima. Can you please repeat the test name that gave you this hint that there might be probability of recurrence? कौन सा test था वो?
uh, endopredict.
एंडोप्रेडिक्ट ओके सलीमा टेस्ट का नाम एंडोप्रेडिक्ट था मैं आपको इसका नाम यहाँ पे चैट में भी भेज देती हूँ सो आप अपने डॉक्टर से एक बार इसके बारे में पूछ सकते हैं इनफैक्ट सबके बेनिफिट के लिए मैं ये भी बताना चाहूँगी एक और टेस्ट है ऑनको स्टेम का जिसमें सो बेसिकली वो टेस्ट पर्टिकुलर ER PR HER2 के लिए होता है और उसमें ये पता चलता है कि आपका अगर उसमें पर्टिकुलर कुछ लेवल है तो सर्जरी के बाद में आपको कीमोथेरेपी की जरूरत पड़ेगी या नहीं पर सिमिलर टेस्ट ही है शायद आपको कीमोथेरेपी की जरूरत पड़ेगी या नहीं पड़ेगी एंड मेनी पीपल what I've seen success stories, many people could actually avoid chemotherapy. I remember one story where there was a young girl of 32 years of age and she wanted to get pregnant. But chemotherapy ke time pe they were very high risk that she may not be able to after that. And she went for this test और test में पता चला कि she doesn't need to go for chemotherapy. So now she is mother and very happy. So I think the वो टेस्ट भी काफी यूजफुल है ब्रेस्ट कैंसर के लिए जहाँ पे वी कैन फाइंड आउट कि हाँ हमें कीमो चाहिए या नहीं चाहिए एंड द एंडोप्रेडिक्ट टेस्ट इज ऑल्सो यूजफुल सो थैंक यू सीमा फॉर शेयरिंग दैट can you share some of the most significant challenges you faced during the treatment and how did you, I mean, there was one challenge that you shared about sometimes there were low time first a week of chemotherapy, but in the entire cycle of 6 months of treatment, any critical challenge that you faced? Yeah.
See, the thing is, what I realized, see, now it's been, अभी ना almost 2 साल हो गए, right?
Mhm.
मुझे लगा कि okay, initial chemo and radiation and mastectomy, that's going to be difficult.
Mhm.
But what I realized personally was that's not the difficult part. I mean, that is just the start. What was difficult for me was the treatment after that, right? Like they put me on these, they were blocking my estrogen. So
Mhm.
they put me on these Zolodex and, tamoxifens and after 6 months of taking those medications, I just couldn't, right? Like I was feeling depressed all the time. I would get angry for no reason. My voice, every time I want to talk, I used to get angry and my voice, I'll raise my voice.
Mhm.
And I used to know that there is something wrong. Like this is not how I should be feeling, like it was really, really bad.
Mhm.
that was the most difficult and challenging part. That's when I started therapy.
Okay.
I was like, okay, so therapy hasn't helped with the depression, but at least it's helped me understand myself, like why I'm feeling a certain way.
Mm.
So the day I feel very depressed or I don't want to talk, if someone wants to say my husband is talking to me, I just tell him, listen, I need some time for myself. And he understands, right? So I think that was the most difficult part to get through those tablets, even now I'm kind of, it's not easy. I have mood swings. I haven't gotten my periods from the time I started chemo. It's already 2 years. All that is affecting. I have, menopausal symptoms. I get hot flashes. I'm sweating 1 minute. I'm feeling cold the other minute. So first 6 months, I would say were okay because I knew what was happening. But right now, it's just, it's so a little confusing. But I'm trying to, just with whatever I can with the meditation, yoga, and my therapy, I'm trying to understand and deal with this slowly.
Wow.
But it gets challenging. It's not very easy. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that.
Right, right, right. No, I mean, it takes courage to share such a deep personal experience and also talking about it because काफी बार हम लोग काफ़ी चीज़ें शेयर नहीं करते हैं एंड दैट्स द ब्यूटी ऑफ हीलिंग सर्कल वेयर वी ऑल कम टुगेदर टू शेयर अवर पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंसेस एंड बाहर कुछ और दिखता है बट डीप डाउन वी ऑल आर गोइंग थ्रू द सिमिलर जर्नी where sometimes there is and it could be because of anything but for somebody it can be chemotherapy की वजह से for caregivers it could be something else the stress of caregiving the burden of caregiving or anything they know that they because caregivers also feel very stressed and very burnt out when they are taking care of the patient and not everybody might have access to the best possible resources to be able to navigate through this entire journey so and having that understanding between partners between caregiver and the patient that no matter how hard it gets we are there for each other and
Mm.
that means the world because एक दूसरे को उस वक्त समझना बहुत ज़रूरी होता है
हाँ.
when I was the caregiver I was just 25 and शायद अब मुझे लगता है कि मैं बेटर कर सकती थी जो उस वक्त कब पता भी नहीं था कि how to even deal with the situation and we were in a foreign country and we were alone and I was like okay everything is happening so sudden and sadly in his case after late stage diagnosis he got only 6 months so things were happening too fast and like as a when you're going through the treatment and there are a lot of side effects like you mentioned and um, it's important to support each other during that time so thank you for openly sharing your heart out and your personal journey and it's completely fine like you shared about therapy कि जब आपको आपको लगा कि शायद मेरे को थेरेपी लेनी चाहिए एंड एट टाइम्स वी डू नॉट टॉक अबाउट थेरेपीज और वी थिंक कि नहीं ट्रीटमेंट हो गया तो काफी है बट वो जो जो सॉफ्टवेयर एस्पेक्ट्स होते हैं स्ट्रेस या फिर फ्रस्ट्रेशन इरिटेशन लाइट नहीं चाहिए साउंड नहीं चाहिए बात मत करो मुझसे मुझे अकेला छोड़ दो वो चीज़ों को इम्पोर्टेंस देना उनका ध्यान रखना उतना ही इम्पोर्टेंट होता है बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली वो रिकवरी में हेल्प करता है सो मेरी सबसे ये रिक्वेस्ट है कि अगर बिकॉज एज ए केयर गिवर मैंने भी वो सारी चीज़ें देखी है एंड इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट कि आप थेरेपिस्ट या फिर आपके जो वेल विशर्स हैं या फिर जो कम्युनिटी मेंबर्स हैं जो उस जर्नी से निकल चुके हैं क्योंकि वो आपको बहुत अच्छे से समझ पाएंगे कि आपके साथ ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है और आप उसमें आपको क्या हेल्प कर सकता है सो थैंक्स सीमा फॉर शेयरिंग दिस एंड if you look back 2 years back what has been the most valuable lesson that you learned from this entire journey.
The valuable lesson, even now, I kind of keep reminding myself is life is too short.
Mm.
We keep pushing things, right? Like, okay, I'll do this, after a few days, or I will wear this after, for this occasion, or, like I'll meet my friends whenever I get time, maybe after a couple of months. But, you might not have that time. So I would say do what you love, hang around with your friends you love, eat what you love, and yeah, just live life. Don't think that you have, I mean, I'm not saying, like, oh, yeah, just be that, just live in the moment. I'm not saying that I can, I'm still trying to figure that way out. For me, it's always I look forward to things, right? Like I'm not living in the moment, but I'm trying my best right now, like because I know life is just too short and you never know what's going to happen or what's around the corner for you.
Yeah, uh, very true. And um, when I lost Nitesh, I had this just 1 month before that. I saw that how transformed and very pure soul he was. Where even on deathbed, he was like, "How can we help other people who are going through the similar journey?" So I think when we go through such a deep experience, it gives a new perspective to life. The way we look at things, we look at relations, we look at everybody, nature, family, friends, and everyone. It just changes, and it looks more beautiful. And I remember he said, people are wonderful and this world is so beautiful. I think it gives a different meaning to the entire everything when we go through such deep experience. And there's a question from Srinivas: any medical insurance available for cancer patients after it is been diagnosed? If you have some thoughts, otherwise, Srinivas, I can do also one thing. We have an information on this that I can share with you. I'll just share our organization number as well. So there is a medical insurance, but वो कुछ conditions में ही applicable होता है, especially somebody who has been diagnosed with cancer. तो काफी उसके लिए कुछ टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस होती है, तो आप इस नंबर पे एक बार कॉल करिएगा, आपको बता देंगे. सीमा, would you have any thoughts on this medical insurance?
So I mean, we were in with Ditto. They provide the medical insurance. So basically, we just provide their number, or they can just call Ditto. I mean, the
Yes.
customer support also is wonderful.
Yeah.
They will explain what you need.
Yeah.
You can just tell them that this is the coverage I need, or this is the possibility, that I need, and they will explain to you what you need.
Understood. Right. And you got this insurance after the diagnosis.
So, as I said, no, I had the insurance because office, everyone we were covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had the insurance, and as most of, and I think the coverage that I had, most of my bills would have taken care of.
Right.
Medical bills would have been taken care
Got
of.
it. Right. And that also gives importance to the medical insurance कि हम सबको, because like सीमा ने अभी अभी बताया कि we never know क्या हो सकता है कल हमारे साथ में. सो वी शुड ऑलवेज बी प्रिपेयर्ड एंड फॉर आवर सेल्स, फॉर आवर फैमिली, क्योंकि जब कुछ भी क्रॉनिक या क्रिटिकल इलनेस होती है तो ट्रीटमेंट से निकलना एक बात होती है. फिजिकल जो ट्रीटमेंट के साइड इफेक्ट्स होते हैं, मेंटल साइड इफेक्ट्स होते हैं, बट उसके साथ में जो फाइनेंशियल बर्डन होता है वो बहुत ज़्यादा हैवी होता है. सो इट्स वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर एनी कॉमन मैन कि भाई हम लोग 20 लाख, 30 लाख, 40 लाख का एक्सपेंसेस, वी जस्ट टेक आउट मनी लाइक दैट. सो इट्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि हम सब पहले से अपना इंश्योरेंस कवर करके रखें, सो दैट नो मैटर व्हाट हैपेंस टुमारो, वी आर कंप्लीटली सेफ एंड सिक्योर्ड. एंड एटलीस्ट एक जो बड़ा चीज होता है फाइनेंशियल बर्डन, वो सॉर्ट आउट हो चुका है, एंड वी कैन फोकस ऑन द अदर थिंग्स विच इज फोकसिंग ऑन द हीलिंग एंड रिकवरी एंड lifestyle and practices, everything. So that's amazing, a very important lesson that you have shared, Seema. There's one question. I've completed all my treatment and got BRCA. Should I do this test? Salima, I would request you to, your oncologist will be the right person to answer this about the test, because it's very much straightforward answer नहीं होगा. काफी कुछ पैरामीटर्स देखने होते हैं उसके लिए. So आपके डॉक्टर आपको ज्यादा अच्छे से बता पाएंगे. आपने एक और क्वेश्चन है, सजेस्ट एनी थेरेपिस्ट फॉर मेंटल हेल्थ. डेफिनेटली सलीमा, मैंने यहाँ पे नंबर शेयर किया है. सो वी डू हैव इमोशनल काउंसलर्स हु विल एंड माइंडफुलनेस एक्सपर्ट्स जो आपको इसमें हेल्प करेंगे. वी डू डेली योगा मेडिटेशन सेशंस आल्सो फॉर कम्युनिटी मेंबर्स. एंड या, there is one question, because today also I broke down even after 1.5 year. So Seema, would you like to share some thoughts on this? I think Salima, it's been 1.5 years, and she said I'm still.
You know, I don't think we will ever forget what we have gone through, right? Like, you know, so I'm still undergoing reconstructive surgery. And
Mm.
then there was a issue with reconstructive surgery. So instead of 2 surgeries, now I have to do 5 surgeries, right? And I kept thinking, okay, chalo, mera chemo, mera cancer na piche. I mean, I've left it behind. But the other day, I had to go meet this, reconstructive surgeon in Apollo here. And when I went there, as soon as I entered the oncology department, it was like, I just remembered what I went through, and it was so, I felt so sad. I felt so overwhelmed. After after 2 years, I still felt, I saw women with bald head and, their sad faces, even after. So I don't think we'll ever, like forget the experience or overcome it. But I think it's absolutely fine if you, like I think sometimes just crying just helps you, like just vent it out. Because it was, I mean, after 2 years, even just that oncology department that I went to, and it just brought all the memories back. And I was so overwhelmed that I just wanted to get out of that place. So I think it'll always be there with us.
Yeah. एंड सलीमा, मैंने आपके साथ में इनफैक्ट सब मेंबर्स के साथ में ब्रेस्ट कैंसर सपोर्ट ग्रुप है हमारा, उसका लिंक भी शेयर किया है। वहाँ पे बहुत ही अमेजिंग मेंबर्स हैं जो एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट करते हैं, एक दूसरे की बात सुनते हैं, समझते हैं, अपने एक्सपीरियंस से शेयर करते हैं। सो हमेशा लाइक वन ऑफ द पिलर मैंने बताया कि शेयरिंग लव एंड सपोर्ट इन कम्युनिटी, एंड दैट रियली हेल्प्स अ लॉट, हैविंग समबडी हु हैज गॉन थ्रू द सिमिलर जर्नी। एंड so please do join this and share your experience, and I'm sure many wonderful souls will come and help you in this. So yeah. And Seema, when you about your treatment, when you can you please explain the connection between your medical treatment, your physical स्ट्रेंथ एंड योर मेंटल वेलबींग, आपने तीनों का बैलेंस कैसे बना के रखा? क्योंकि कई बार हम पेशेंट से सुनते हैं कि हमारा ट्रीटमेंट चल रहा है तो अभी हम कुछ नहीं करना चाहते हैं या नहीं कर सकते हैं, एंड जब खत्म हो जाएगा 6 महीने बाद में, तब हम देखेंगे कि कैसे करना है, चाहे वो स्मॉल स्मॉल प्रैक्टिसेस ही क्यों ना। और मुझे बहुत बुरा लगता है, दुख होता है कि अभी ही टाइम है करने का। बट उन्हें लगता है कि नहीं, अभी स्ट्रेंथ नहीं है, या फिर एवरीथिंग इज हियर। कई बार वो विल पावर ही काफी होती है। सो what would you share with those warriors, those people who are going through this, and a few words of.
Sure. Okay, so as I mentioned, right, for me, the motivation was to get back to my workout, after my surgeries, after my chemo. But I'll tell you one fact, right? Like, so just 6 months back, my reconstruction started. So now that time, the doctor said, you have to be very careful, you can't work out. And I actually didn't work out for 2 months.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't work out for 2 months. I'm like, okay, you know what? I will do it later.
Yeah.
I didn't even go for, like, maybe I went for walks. But I was like, okay, doctor has told me to take a break. I will take a break. But those 2 months, right? Like, as I said, my reconstruction went wrong, and mentally, right, I was in a very, very, very bad place. So much so that my husband said, okay, listen, I think you should start working out. I was like, you know what? You are right. I think I should get back on it. And it's been 2 months. I've gotten back to my routine slowly, but I've gotten back, and mentally, I mean, I can see the difference. I can see the absolute difference, just see it. Workout can be anything, right? As you mentioned, as you
Yeah.
said, no, it can be movement, just move, walk. And yeah, I just feel so much better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, so that was my experience, like a first-hand experience, I'm telling, where you take a break and then you think, okay, we'll do it, but
Yeah. True.
something which is helping you, you don't realize that.
Very true. Yeah, great. Thank you, Seema. There's a question from Deepak Bayani. He has been, hi Deepak ji. He has been a caregiver to his wife, and we recently lost her. She was bravely fighting it all this while, but because of jaundice, she is not here with us. Hi Deepak ji, please share.
How are you?
Good,
Hello,
good.
Seema ji. Welcome to our group.
Thank you. Thanks.
One thing is there. Does your doctor tell you to take the calcium supplement? Because when you are on tamoxifen, you have to take the calcium supplement 500 mg every day.
Yes.
One thing. And second thing, every month you have to take the jordanic acid 4 mg through IV. First year.
Okay, calcium I was aware of, but not the other thing.
Every 3 months.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll add it to
Your
my.
bone can weak.
Oh,
For
okay.
that, you have to take this injection.
Oh, sure, sure. Thank you so much.
You can discuss on this.
Yes.
Okay.
And for Salima Jiwani, you join this group, breast cancer group, will guide you everything there.
Mhm.
If your willpower is strong, you can fight with this disease. You see, my wife, when diagnosed, given only 6 months, she fight for 8.5 years.
Wow.
When your willpower is strong, you can fight with this disease.
Definitely. Very true, Deepak ji. In fact, many survivors I've talked to, and one of the common thing among all was कि हमारा विल पावर बहुत स्ट्रांग था. किसी ने बताया कि मैंने अपने 1.5 ईयर का बेटा था, उसके लिए मुझे ये सब करना था. किसी के लिए था कि मेरा लाइफ का पर्पस ये है, उसके लिए मुझे करना है. सो एवरीबॉडीज विल पावर वाज सुपर स्ट्रांग टू गेट थ्रू इट. और मुझे लगता है कि एंड हियरिंग फ्रॉम सीमा ऑल्सो, व्हेन देयर इज अ विल देयर इज अ वे. एंड बॉडी में बहुत इमेंस सेल्फ हीलिंग कैपेसिटी होती है. मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट यस इंपॉर्टेंट है, कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री केयर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, सेल्फ केयर उतना ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, और जो विल पावर होती है वो बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है इस जर्नी से निकलने के लिए. सो थैंक यू फॉर शेयरिंग दैट. एंड एज वी come towards the end of the session, Seema, any message you would want to share with everyone um, from your journey? Any one-line statement that you would like to share?
I mean, one thing is health is wealth. We keep saying that, right? Like it becomes a joke, right, on a everyday basis because we are always, but then it's so true. Health is everything for us, right? You can't buy good health with money. I mean, it's as simple as that. And also, live your life, be happy, spend good quality time with your loved ones, with your friends, have a wonderful supportive community. I mean, the people, like just that supportive community can change your life, make you laugh, and then, you will feel like my problems are not that big.
Yeah, very true. And thank you for sharing this wonderful lesson and your journey as well. And as we come to the end of the session, I would want to share with everyone this World Cancer Month. We are supporting cancer patients with the free onco nutrition program, 1 lakh cancer patients. So if you know anybody who can get help, you can, मैंने यहाँ पे नंबर भी दिया है, ग्रुप का लिंक भी दिया है, आप recommend कर सकते हैं. And would love to support anybody you know who might get benefit of this program. And we really thank you, Seema, for joining us, for sharing your journey with us. It's very inspiring, incredibly moving, and shows how strong you are. And as they say, that sometimes being strong is the only choice you may have. But and strong willpower, healthy lifestyle, good practices, a loving family, and many other good doctor, and many other things comes into play in recovery and healing. I believe many people listening today and the many others who are going to watch the video, they'll definitely get benefit of this. And I thank you for supporting everyone who has cancer, who have survived it, and they will definitely find hope, encouragement in your words and through your journey. So really, really grateful to have you with us today, and thank you for sharing your
Thank you so
deep
much.
experiences and insights. Yeah.
I'm honored that you guys, involved me in this group. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. We look forward to see you next Healing Circle Talks. Thank you. Thanks, Seema.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. Bye.